Mike. Here today to another video on the FX Impact M3 and what's the best pellet at the best speed to shoot out of it. So I've done several FX videos, hadn't done any in a while. So again, I'm a big FX fan. I've got two FX M3s, one in 30 cal and one in I think 22 or 25 cal. But there's three big time pellets that I see at all the shooting competitions. And now with FX has got this True Ballistic Chronograph. Me and my brother pitched in and went in together and bought this thing. So I said, okay, let's see what it does. This new chronograph does a lot. I mean, you're looking at pellets, it'll tell you what the true ballistic coefficient of each shot is, right? So the ballistic coefficient tells you how well the pellet or bullet slips through the air. It's unbiased, right? So this video is not about accuracy. It's about how well the pellet performs based on the chronograph. So there's no bias in this. So I took and shot 400 shots using what I consider the top three pellets in 30 cal. The pellets I used, the JSB Exacts 45 grain. These pellets have probably won more bench rest competitions than any other pellet out there. I've shot a ton of these, so it's one of my favorite pellets. And then last year these came out, the Xan BR 100s. I shot these in the Pyramid Cup last year. I also shot them in the NAC this year. So it's 56 grain, 100-yard pellets, a really good pellet. One of my favorites. And then recently, you know, these AEA pellets came out. These are being shot with the Karma Red Panda in 50 cal and winning championships. So in my opinion, these are the three top bench rest pellets. So this video is kind of for my personal reasons, right? I want to know which speed is the best for these three pellets based on what the chronograph shows, not based on bias or not even based on accuracy. What is the chronograph showing? So I took 400 shots with these three pellets through the FX Impact M3 in my backyard. My backyard is limited to 30 yards. I know a lot of folks say, well, it's only 30. I got it. It's a backyard test. But I'm going to take this data that I've gathered out to the range at 100 yards using the three best speed and pellets that the data shows. That's really what this video is about. I went through the whole range of speeds from setting 1 through setting 16 on the macro wheel. Okay, the gun's tuned really well. Every notch, every click, the speed goes up, 8 to 12 feet per second from 1 through 16. That's telling you the gun is dialed in. I don't mess with the valve. The regs are set perfectly. If I want speed, decrease or increase, I simply adjust the macro, which is, to me, in my opinion, how the gun should be tuned. But I went through all the speeds pretty much to see, okay, low speed, medium speed, high speed, what's the data showing? So that's what the video is about. So let me just tell you, out of the 400 shots, the standard deviation was 2.7. The mean radius, now this is really what I was looking for, the mean radius, which means the average gap between the pellets based on the data was 0.16. So not 1 inch, 0.16 of 1 inch. And again, I get it, it's at 30 yards, but still, that is a very tight group. And at 30 yards, you can't really define differences in these three pellets. Again, it's only at 30 yards. So for example, here's some of the shots. I mean, basically these are 5-shot groups, okay? All of these are 5-shot groups. So there's no outliers, there's no flyers, okay? So I can't really differentiate between 5 shots stacked on each other. This True Ballistics FX chronograph can. Again, it measures every shot. It tells you exactly what the BC of the pellet is, but more importantly, it tells you the mean radius, based on what it sees, okay, how far apart you're going to be in your shots. It also tells you the likelihood of that shot hitting a 1 inch MOA at 100 yards. So the average of all 400 pellets, 1 inch MOA likelihood was 96.2%. the average BC of all three pellets was 0.057. Okay, so that's the test. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to show you the 400 shots, but once I went through each pellet at all the speeds, I then picked out the best speed that showed the best results. I then took that and did a three group 5-shot group that shows, okay, one, can I repeat the results? Okay, and two, what's the accuracy? So I actually filmed that, and you can show. I'm going to show you, how that test turned out.
All right, here's the JSB exact results. Shot 90 shots from macro 1 through macro 9, from 851 low to 970 high. All the groups were good. The chronograph numbers are good too. I mean, the spread was decent. Standard deviation, 2 or 3. The mean radius is really good, 0.13, 0.15. But the one setting that jumped out is the macro 8 at 957 average. Had the smallest spread, smallest standard deviation, smallest mean radius, and just all the numbers looked really, stood out. So after shooting these, after going through all these 90 shots, I came back and shot another 15-shot group at setting 8, and here's the results of the summary on setting 8 on the M3. This is sped up 3 times. The video's not cut, but it is speeded up 3 times to make it quick. So the chronograph numbers on the second set, the 15 shots, was very close to the original set of 10 shots. Speed was, 957, 963. Spread's a little bit more at 11. Standard deviation 3. Mean radius still really, really good at 0.11. So I'm going to take this thing out to the range and try this at 100 yards and shoot these things about 960 and see what happens. All right, here's the AEA center punch 50 cal pellets, 130 total shots. I had a couple duplicates there where I forgot to switch the gun up, so I just put the data in there. So 2 8s and 2 12s. But these pellets performed really well. I mean, a tighter spread, tighter standard deviation, a really small mean radius. But there were 2 groups that came in at 0.07 radius, so I just shot both groups. So one at 898 speed and one at 966. So here's the first group at 898, macro 7. All right, here's the second group, and this is macro 15, I think 968. All right, you can see here that the tighter numbers start to show up a little bit at 30 yards. You know, they're all stacked, but these are some really tight groups. And the numbers are consistent, right? So, you know, the 10-shot group matches the 15-shot group when I redid it at the same setting. So very consistent numbers. So I think I will shoot these at 100 yards using the M3 at that higher setting at 960, 970 range, and just see how good it does at 100 yards. All right, last up are the Xan BR 100 56 grain pellets. These are designed to be shot at 100-yard bench rest. They shoot good. These are the chronograph numbers. Shot 110 shots of these at all different speeds. The speed that jumped out is that 917 speed, had a spread of 5, had an average radius of 0.08. So here's the 15 shots. Okay, so the 15 shots mimic pretty much the original 10 shots at that speed, 913 to 917, spread very tight of 8, standard deviation at 2.3, and then look at the average radius, 0.07, which is, you know, it's really good. So I will take these to the range and shoot them at 913, 917, see what happens. All right, this graph here just shows the average of all the shots from each of the 3 pellets. The AEAs had a little bit better stats than the other 2, better spread, better standard deviation, better average radius, better BC. And then this stat here, I actually weighed 10 random pellets out of each 10 and also sized them. All were pretty close. I mean, you can see the, you know, the weights are you know, got a few variations there, but basically the same.
All right, guys, let's wrap this video up. Hope you gathered a lot of data like I did from this little test I did. I'm going to take this rifle M3 out to the 100-yard range. I'm going to take these same 3 pellets. And as far as the JSBs, I'm going to shoot those at
963
at 100 yards and see how, you know, does what all the data I found match. AEAs, I'm going to shoot them at
968.
And the Xans, I'm going to shoot at
913.
3 speeds for those 3 pellets seem to, again, the data I collected seem to be the best. Some of you might ask, how's the gun set up? So real quickly, I'm going to tell you how I got my gun set up. I got Reg 1 at 190 bar. And again, I don't mess with anything except for the wheel. Okay, it's been like that for almost a year now. Reg 1's 190 bar. Reg 2 is 148 bar. The valve is all the way out, 4 lines plus whatever else you can get it out. On the hammer, okay, the hammer in this gun is the hammer that comes with a 35 cal FX M3. This was originally bought as a 35 cal. I then swapped barrels on it down to 30 cal. I do know that the hammer in the FX M3 35 cal is a heavier hammer, maybe heavier spring than the 30 through 22 cal or 177. So I haven't looked that up, but I just know it's got a 35 cal stock hammer and spring in this 30 cal FX. So that's the stats on the gun. And again, I appreciate everybody watching. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.